So we are going to play with the web server code that we wrote. So here it is. I'll run it. All right. So the server has been set up on my computer. So I am a client, so I'm going to use localhost. If some other machine far away is a client, then that machine will need my computer's IP address here. Okay. And this is the port number. I have told you 8080 is the port number. So let me run a client now. So to open another Python shell. Okay. So there you go. So this left hand side will be my client. So remember, my server is running on this particular folder, in this particular folder. So these files I have access to. Okay, this client will have access to. All right. So let me choose any of these files. Chat. These are long files. So I'll use chat handler file. Okay. So let's see. This is the code for a client. From socket, import socket. I'll open a socket, call it S. I'll connect my socket, this client socket, with the server. And the server is sitting in localhost using port 8080. Okay. The file name I'm looking for is, it's not trialxt. What file name did I want? Chat handler, capital H. Okay. So chat handler. Don't forget the extension. Okay. That's my file name. I'm sending a message. What message would be? Get space / plus file name. So remember, whatever message you send is going to be split by the, where did it go? Right, it's going to be split on the server side along the empty space and index 1 onwards. So if I split this entire string along empty space, then I'm going to get / and file name concatenated. Get rid of the / and that's why you are starting on index 1 onwards. So that's how the other side, the server, will get my file name basically. Okay. So that's my message which I'm going to send using the client's socket. S.send message. Don't forget to encode it. By default it is UTF-8, so I don't need to write UTF-8, it's the default. So I sent 19 characters. All of this is 19 characters. Now let me receive, right? Print S.receive 1024 characters. Remember, I don't have to have 1024. I say 100 characters, but don't forget to decode it. Oh, I got a few lines from chathandler.py. Okay, I received 100 characters worth. Now let me get the next 100 characters worth. So dictionary, this associates, so on. Okay, I'm getting a bit tired. So let me get 1000 characters worth. Okay, now let me get another 1000 characters worth. Okay, let me get another 1000 characters worth. Okay, some more. Aha, I'm done. So what am I receiving? Empty. All right, don't forget to close my socket, right? And don't forget to close web server. All right, how do you close a web server? Control C. Okay, that is keyboard interrupt. Control C. All right, so the next big project, the last section here is network chat room, but I'm not going to prepare a video for this because this really has to be done in a lab setting with a few people involved. Okay, so this I will not cover in my videos, but I do want to show you how to develop a persistent connection. In the previous servers that we built, we had the connection would cut after one interaction. We want a persistent connection. That is, connection should continue. All right. So this cannot be solely devoted to handling that connection until it's closed. So the point of a persistent connection is that you should be able to connect to several clients, or maybe the same client wants to talk repeatedly. Okay. So here is a code for persistent echo server, the same echo server, but a persistent version. That is, the connection stays alive until the client says quit. Okay. From socket server, import TCP server. The purpose of the TCP server is to set up a server, set up a socket for each client who comes. Okay. Basically listen and set up a socket. Handler is what handles each client. Okay, we write child classes of the handler class from the socket server module, basically. Okay, how do we write our child class? We don't change anything else, any of the attributes, any of the instance variables, but we override the handle method. In this case, I want a persistent, so I will need a while loop, while true. Okay, but I don't want a while loop true, which basically is an infinite loop, but cannot be fixed unless I say somewhere break. So here is one way. I'll call the variable active true. I'm assigning true to the variable active while active. So this is as good as saying while true. Now, while your server is running, self.request is your socket who is receiving some message, and you want to take that message. Don't forget to decode it, right? Now, if the message you receive, it could be in capital case, uppercase, whatever, make sure it's lowercase. If the lowercase is quit, then your socket is sending this message, echo, goodbye. Encode this message and send it. Notice how the encode and the message is within the parenthesis for send. Not only send goodbye, change the active to false. Once active is changed to false, this loop stops. You get out of the loop. If the message is not quit, then you are echoing back the message and encode it. That's all. Okay. When do you get out of the while loop? You get out of the while loop when active becomes false. When does active become false? When the message you receive from the client is quit. At that time, when you get out of the while loop, after that, your server, your socket from the server side must close. Okay. Now, here we are using TCP server 9000. So some number they have chosen. So get the server running now. So this was just definition of the class, mind you. It did not get the server running. It's definition of the class to handle whatever comes your way. So this sets up your server running at this address with this handler, and the object, server object that you have created, this method makes it run. So you have activated your server. On the client side, we are going to send messages repeatedly. So let's try this. Okay. By the way, so let's try this. So where is the persistent echo server? Okay. So here our server is up and running. Let's open a new Python shell. Okay, we have a new Python shell. I want to send all this information. Okay, by the way, all that is here as well. So this is my server, this is my client. So from socket, import socket. Oops. So my client has created a socket, called it echo. So my echo client has connected to the server we just let running, and my echo client is sending a message. This is a test that's worth 15 characters. I want to see what my echo is receiving. Echo, this is a test. Send another message. Well, let's see whether the connection is still alive. 6 characters. Oh, it's still working. Let's send some other message. All right, let's see what we receive. Is the connection still alive? It is alive, right? We are still echoing. Now suppose I send the message quit, right? That was our agreement. If the client says quit, then what happens? Let's see whether we receive anything. We get echo goodbye. So now let's try another message and see whether the connection is alive. It's not alive. Connection has been lost. At this point, don't forget to close your socket that you opened. Okay, and definitely don't forget to close your server that you opened by saying Control C. Okay, keyboard interrupt. All right, so this will be my last video for this particular lecture. If you are interested, look at the chat room information in your uh, lecture notes or your files you have. Okay, keep working, guys. By the way, here is an important page I want you to look at. The page 144 of our lecture notes. There are many, very many important sites where you can learn a lot more. Don't stop learning. Okay, don't stop learning. This is it. Okay, until then, bye.